Hi, it's Jason with Akkio. Let's take a look at how I can determine which channel I should advertise the most with. Now, I'm actually looking at external service names. So I'm going to decide if I want to go with Facebook ad, DV360, or Google Ads. I think that's the three I have in here. Let's take a look. Yeah, those are the three. So I don't have a cost per click in here. If I scroll through, I can see I do have clicks. I have impressions, so depending on which one's important to me. I have some currency, I have what I spend, but I do have media cost in USD, so that normalizes the cost. Let's create that cost per click column. Let's say create a new column. Media cost USD divided. All right, let's see what it did. It says transform the data set by adding a new column called CPC, which represents the cost per click. Now, I didn't tell it that, and it figured that out. So just remember, you can always just use human language too. You say create a new column for cost per click, and it'll probably figure it out for you. In my case, I had a couple different columns. I wanted to make sure to use media cost USD. So I specified it. This is calculated by dividing the media cost USD by the clicks column. I think that's correct. I would spend a little more time just validating, but this one's pretty simple. Let's hit apply transform. So it added a column called CPC, and I see that down there. Now, the great thing is the data set's returned to me. I can always download this data set. I can eliminate rows. I can filter the data set, anything I want with Chat Data Prep, and I can download that myself if I want to. Now, once it's done loading, I'm going to go up here to the upper right-hand side and choose to edit project goal. That's the goal that I entered when I first uploaded this data set. But now that I have cost per click, I'm going to change that goal. So let's click that, edit project goal. And it says here, I have a small budget. I'm most concerned with which channel has the most clicks for the media cost. That's great. I'm most concerned with which channel. So now I can use that new column. So I'll just change what I had. Let's hit regenerate reports. It's going to generate new reports for me. Let's see what it comes up with. Awesome. And just that quick, it says your generative BI report is ready. Let's click on that to view it. It just takes me to the report tab at the top, and I told it to replace my existing reports because I had already saved those or did what I wanted with those. So let's see here. Here's a pie chart showing the proportional use of each external service name. So how much we use them. Even use. I think what we said is, hey, we want to get this many clicks out of all of you, something like that. Now I got a violin plot showing cost per click for weekends and weekdays. Okay, so that looks like even spend. That's interesting, depending on where my weekend and weekdays go. That actually leads me down a path that I might want to explore more. Where do I get the most costs or most clicks? Is it on weekdays or weekends? What's the best value? Is it on weekdays or weekends? We can explore that more, but that's a great one. I'm going to save that one. Here we go, a strip plot for the CPC over number of days. Okay, so it looks like a matter of time. That looks really good. It goes down, of course, the more number of days that the campaign is running. Number of days was the number of days that the campaign was live. And that makes sense that it would go down over time. Bar chart showing the cost per click and external service name. And there we see Facebook ads has a high cost per click. DV360 has a low cost per click, and Google Ads has a higher one. Now that's an aggregate, it looks like, by the number that I see there. So what I might do, that's a great idea, but I might go back and say, give me the average cost per click by external service name. Let's do that next. And then a box plot showing, oh, this is great, the advertiser name and the cost per click for that advertiser. Which one? So I'm an agency and I'm advertising for these different organizations. And that's a very tight box plot. I might want to go with the top 10 or something like that. So if I want to use these, I can always save them. I can delete them and I can add them to a dashboard. Let's go back and explore this weekend idea a little bit more. And then maybe also our cost per click over external service name by average. So if I look here, I've already done some exploration here and you see some of the things. The total amount spent with each external service name is as follows. There we go. I'm going to ask you to tell me the average. Ooh, and there we go. That tells a very good story. Now the total spend was lower for DV360. We know that because we saw the other chart and I've saved that off to a dashboard. This one is showing me that it's actually half or less than half of the other two. Well, less than half Facebook and almost half of Google Ads. Now, if I scroll up, I've already done a couple reports. If I scroll up, you can see clicks here and external service names pretty flat. So you can tell what I've done is said, hey, we want to even our clicks across the platforms and then spend within a limit. And that limit wasn't hit by DV360 by far. It looks like it might have been hit by the others, or at least we spent quite a bit more because you see the total amount spent correlates with the cost per click. So I've set a click level with each one of them. DV360 just performed better. Let's look at the weekend ID as well. If I want to, I can go up here and say new chat. Of course, I can always save these to that dashboard if I want to, just like I showed before. I'm gonna go to new chat and say, so now it's gonna tell me weekdays versus weekends by external service name, cost per click. I like that one in a chart better. It's been giving me tabular data, which is useful for these simple numbers. But in this case, let's just chart it and see what we got. That way we have both. I really like this chart. This looks great. So weekdays in blue, weekends in orange. I can always adjust that. But DV360 slightly less on weekends and the other slightly higher on weekends. So obviously some things I want to explore more. This is giving me some insights. Number one, it looks like DV360. What I don't, number one, DV360 looks like the best cost per click. Same number of clicks came through in my data set, but DV360 costs about half of the others. I'm getting better performance on the weekends. That's interesting to me. And it looks like engagement is the same as well. The one thing I don't have in my data set, if we take a look, is I could look at search tags, I could look at other things too and see which turns out better. But what I don't see here is if they turned into a market qualified lead, if they turned into a customer. I don't have that in my data set. That's something we want to correlate, because it could be that the DV360 clicks or the users that come through that channel or that external service name are of lower quality or of higher quality. We would want to correlate that as well. So some great insights we got just within a few minutes using a data set. The few things we did was check data prep to do some feature engineering, create that new column, CPC. It could have done it for us automatically, but I gave it some guidance because I wanted to make sure it was in USD and we had that column there. Then we edited our project goal, which gave us some output of some charts that were awesome. I saved those to a dashboard, which then I could share with my business or with my customers if I wanted to. And then that gave me some ideas where I went back in to explore, and I explored a little bit more. Those same charts and graphs, I could put it back on that dashboard too.